Hey, welcome back to Gordon's Garage. Remember the Camaro? Remember the exhaust was stuck? Yeah, that's what's gonna happen now. We're gonna see if I can't take those bolts off. It's gonna need some WD-40. Oh, I got them down here off the car onto the bench here, and if you'll look, there's a part number there. RH stands for right hand, and another part number, and the left hand. So this is the stock mufflers that came with that car. So the 66,000 miles is probably accurate. And this thing's not rusted out. Nothing's got big holes in it other than what I'm putting in it. So I'm gonna do my best to get up this tube and pull out whatever bird nest I can. I'm gonna use my vacuum cleaner a little bit. Let me see what I can get done. Oh my goodness. Look at all that stuff that blew out of there. Man. And most of it is mouse poop. So yes, we definitely have issues in the mufflers. I'm gonna try a couple other things. All right, so this is what we got. The mufflers, yeah, I had some mouse poop in it. Yeah. It blew through though. The stuff was getting on out. That was what was bothering me. Is like, well, that's not really plugged up. And so I decided to take apart right here behind the catalytic converter. And I was just about to take the Sawzall and cut that catalytic converter off because I thought that's got to be what it is. But getting to the root cause, I decided to test this section. So I put the vacuum cleaner on it and tried to blow both directions. I can't get by this. I put it on the back of the catalytic converter and blew into the catalytic converter, and I have free air coming to the engine. So my problem exists somewhere in this pipe. Good thing I didn't cut that catalytic converter off. So now I'm gonna try this thing on this end. I didn't even feel any resistance. Let me try the other end. Yeah, there's something right there. I don't know what it was. I'm not getting anything. Man, didn't know that was already gutted. It didn't even look like it had been cut into, so they must have done it from the back end, just like that. So, yeah. So next, we're gonna have a mean brake, and I'm gonna break out a welder and weld all the exhaust right back on. Ooh, it got cold in here. Anyways, question may have came up that wondering why I wanted to replace the bench seat in my truck for other seats, which was bucket seats. Wanted to get a center console. That was really cool, extra space to store stuff and so on. But the main reason was this great big pothole I had in the driver's side that was filled full of blue towels. That's what I've been sitting on for the last, I don't know how many years I've owned that truck. So yeah, I was tired of that. I wanted a regular foam seat that wasn't damaged. So there you have it. That's why I replaced the seats. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I want to weld this back together and put it back on the car. There's a couple things holding me up. The first thing is, I know I just cleared out a whole big, you've seen it, the big old ball of nest. And it was in the middle of a pipe from here going to the engine. And I got it all cleaned out and I can weld that back together. That'd be cool. But there's something telling me that there's still more in here. And I want to know just what this consists of. And knowing that they're stock from the original, from the factory, I hate to cut them up. But if I have to, I have to. So what I'm going to do is do a little exploratory looking through this little microscope thing, this whatever they call it. And we're going to look up the tube and see what's in there. If I see a bunch of rat nests that I can't get out, then yeah, we'll probably do a little cutting before we weld this all back up. Okay, so I don't know exactly how any cross structure is welded inside these things. So when I cut it open, so yeah, this is kind of exploratory for me as well. So as you could probably know, that little scope thing, it didn't give me any results. It's really hard to get around this bend to go back up in that way, and it's real hard to get around this bend. You know, and what I could see was blurry at best, and sometimes I get something clear, but I didn't know if I was looking at something that was a wad of fuzzy stuff, or if it was just metal or just blurry. So yeah, so I cut across here, and I don't know if y'all can see that, but yes, there is little fiber things sticking out. So that probably fiberglass, maybe rat nest. We don't know yet. I haven't opened this, so you and I are gonna see this both together here. So this outer shell seems really soft. Okay. And that is a layer of fiberglass right there. That's not that big a deal. All right. To get on inside, it looks like there's a second layer there, and I didn't cut the corners all the way through real good, so I got to get the death wheel back out. Oh, I introduced y'all to Death Wheel. This is Death Wheel, Gordon's Garage fans. And this one is Frankenstein. So if you hear me refer to Frankenstein or Death Wheel, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, so Death Wheel, you're up. This side's the same way. All right, so man, I got some work ahead of me here. Let's get the Death Wheel going. Okay, as you can see, I got it open there, and I'm glad I did, because one side did have all of that tucked up in there. And what I was really afraid of is welding this all back together, sticking it in there, and that clump that I didn't get out would finally get blown into a spot and reclog the whole system, which it's only on one side, so I'd only clogged up one side and then basically reduced my exhaust muffler to 1 instead of 2. But yeah, I think it's pretty good to go. I'm going to do a little more sanding or grinding on this edges to prep it, and then yeah, it's about time to weld. Try to weld this thing back together. Well, I don't know if y'all can tell, but in the previous video here, you might have seen these burners back here burning. They're not glowing very much now. I'm running out of propane in that tank, so tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shut that off and we're gonna get some more propane. Before we go, maybe we should turn on the red thing. Let's hear a cold start for the VFR. How about it? All right, let's go with the VFR here. Let's see if things start up. Sounds good. I'm gonna let that warm up a bit and let that thing cool down so I can handle it. And there we have, one side is buttoned back up and we still have the other side to go. Wow. Welding this piece down is a lot more difficult than welding this one, because once this is welded down and I grind the welds down just a bit, there's a lot of the surface behind this one. This one is much thinner gauge than this, but still, when you got a gap and you're trying to fill that gap, it really gives you a lot of trouble. All right, so I've got the exhaust button back up to the engine. I've even got this pipe reconnected to the catalytic converter, and it dead ends right here before the axle. The mufflers, I've got the pipes welded onto it. You'll see it right here. And it's ready to hook over that axle and weld onto this piece of pipe here. But before I do, I'm at a point where I know I got to replace that gas tank. It is just too horrible. That's one of the things keeping me from taking this thing out there in the field and doing some burnouts is I don't have a dependable gas tank, short of putting a gas tank under the hood and strapping it down with bungee cords. So what I'm gonna do is I got a heat shield to remove and a couple other things, and I'll see if I can't get that gas tank out. Okay, so I'm gonna need y'all's help. I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna wait. I've got to order the tank and it's got to get shipped here anyway, so there's gonna be a little bit of time. So in the comment sections down below, try and tell me what you think, how to get this thing out. And here, let me flip you around so you can see what's going on. Okay, so the fuel tank. You can see it's right here, right in the center of the screen. This is the floorboard of the back of the car. But that's the fuel tank with the 2 straps. And the straps here, the bolts are, yeah, from the top side. But up in there, those bolts, let's see if I can get you to that. Those bolts are right there. There's 2 of them, and I can get to those and unstrap that tank. I'd like to drain it first. This is the plumbing coming from the top of the tank, so we get a better angle. So those all can get disconnected, and that's really cool. Then you got the 2 bolts, that one and that one. And then can I slide that out? I don't know. The one thing that's going to give me a hang up is getting this tank out of here. Is right up in there is a filler neck, and it is actually welded on. It's sealed. So that tubing goes, yeah, up that direction to the side of the car. And I don't know if you can take one of these tanks out without removing these 2 crossbars. This is a little suspension stuff. It bolts there, goes across, and it bolts there. The top one bolts there. And I can unbolt these and take them off, but do I have to? That's a good question. So yeah, if y'all can in the comments down below, tell me if you think that tank can come out without taking off those 2 cross members. Have you done it before? Have you got experience at it? Or even if you know of a YouTube channel who has done it and shows you how to. I've seen only one other channel take one of those out, and they took out the cross members. So yeah, I mean, it is just some bolts. I could take it out, but while I'm waiting for the new tank to come in, go down the comment section there and do me a favor and hook me up with some info. I really don't want to bend this thing up. I guess it's trash.